What if I told you that you could learn one thing, yes, just one thing, that will help you to play hundreds of songs? Would you believe me? You should, because it's true. And no, I'm not talking about those same tired four chords that everybody talks about. This will allow you to play songs and pieces that have a lot more than four chords repeated over and over. I don't know about you, but that sounds pretty boring to me. All right, so what is the thing you're going to learn in order to play hundreds, potentially thousands of songs? You can learn how to play from something called a lead sheet. Now, lead sheets are traditionally used with jazz and blues and pop songs and rock songs, but more and more, I think people are using them to play classical music. Now, I haven't seen too many lead sheets for classical music, but I'm going to change that. I'm going to start making lead sheets for classical music so that you do not have to get the sheet music to a classical piece and study it for months to play it note for note. If you just want to play the melody and get a good idea of what chords go with it, you want to get a lead sheet. All right, so if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe. Join my mailing list by clicking the link below so that I will let you know when I've got lead sheets for your favorite classical pieces. All right, so what in the world is a lead sheet? Most people who take lessons or who take courses or even you teach yourself, you've never heard of a lead sheet. So first, let's go over what information a lead sheet gives you. So as an example, I'm going to use shameless plug here, my arrangement of the song Summertime. And if you want to get this lead sheet, you can do it by clicking the link below on music notes. All right. So basically the lead sheet gives you some very important foundational information about a song. It gives you the title. It gives you how fast to play it or what feel it has, what groove it has, gives you the melody notes and rhythms, and it gives you the time signature, the key signature, and the lyrics if a song has lyrics. And then the most important thing, not to be left out, are the chords that go with those melody notes. Now, all of these things in a lead sheet are basically suggestions. Or most of them. I think you can't really change the lyrics of a song. I mean, you can, but now you're singing a different song. But you can change the rhythms. You can change the melody notes. You can alter them. You can add to them. You can add fills and runs into these melody notes or in between them. You can even change the rhythms of the melodies, and you can even change the chords. The lead sheet gives you a lot of information, but it also gives you a lot of freedom. So just by learning how to read and play from a lead sheet, you can pick up any lead sheet for any song and learn it a lot faster than you can if you got the sheet music and went note for note. Now, just to let you know, I'm a classical pianist. I can read music no problem, right? So I'm not telling you don't learn to read music. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that you can expand how much music you can play if you also learn how to read a lead sheet. So let's look at this lead sheet and decipher it. All right. I've put this particular arrangement in the key of A minor and in 12/8 time. So it's 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. I'll play for you just the melody the way that I've written it. And then we'll talk about how you can change that. By the way, whether you're a pianist or a guitarist or a saxophone player, you can play from a lead sheet. Obviously, the saxophonist cannot play chords, but the person can follow the note, the melodies and the rhythms, and they can also improvise over the chord changes that are there. All right, so this isn't just limited to piano, but this is a piano channel, and that's what we're gonna do. I don't play any other instrument. Okay, so I'll play for you the melody the way it's written. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a. Okay, that's what's written. Now, I can alter that. I can change the rhythm if I want to. I don't have to do it the way it's written. I could do it like this. 2, 3, 4, 1. Or anything, right? So you don't have to follow the rhythm that's there. You can also add decorations to the music. So for example, instead of just playing this, I could do something like this. Okay, so, or, that's a lot, right? I probably wouldn't do that, but I could if I wanted to. Now you'll notice there's a really long pause before the next melody note, and that's the way Gershwin wrote this song. Summertime comes from an opera, right? Porgy and Bess, and so the opera singers would hold this note and then the orchestra would play stuff underneath it. But if you're doing a solo piano version, it gets kind of boring just waiting there. So you could add a little fill, a little lick or something. All right, so that's the right hand. What about the left hand? This does not look like piano music, right? Piano music is supposed to have a grand staff. Well, this is where those chord symbols come in. So this gives you kind of a roadmap to follow in terms of what notes you can play in the left hand, but you're on your own with the left hand rhythm and also how you play those notes. All right, looking at the first measure, you've got an A minor 6 chord. An A minor 6 chord is a minor triad with a minor 6 interval from the root. If this is the first time you're hearing about chords, you definitely want to check out my course, Chord Master, where you learn basically every kind of chord you can play and how to think about chords, so that once you learn chords, it's basically the secret language of music. And the more you know about chords, the faster and easier it will be for you to play any piece, whether it's from a lead sheet or like written out or even by ear, okay? So if you want to find like the one thing that will make all of this easier for you, it's learning chords. But please, not just the same 4 chords that everybody tries to sell you in their courses. No, there's more than 4 chords in music, okay? So the first chord, A minor 6, I'm splitting it up between 2 hands right now, but I could easily play it in the left hand. I can even split it up like this. See that? Why? Why can I do that? Well, because it's a lead sheet. It's not telling me exactly what to play the way like sheet music of a Chopin waltz would, right? Sheet music and classical music pretty much have to follow. But if you were thinking of it as a lead sheet of a Chopin waltz, then you can do whatever you want with that left hand, which is why lead sheets are so cool. All right, so the notes in the A minor 6 chord are A, C, E, F sharp. I could do something like this. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at that A minor chord, A minor 6. Now if I move every single note up 1, get a B minor 6 chord. That's the next chord. And if you look ahead, I'm going to use the same 2 chords over and over for the next several measures. So let's practice that together. A minor 6 chord, B minor 6 chord, A minor 6 chord, B minor 6 chord. All right, so it's just a shape that I'm moving back and forth. Okay, well, I could keep it just like that in root position, and I could add the right hand to it. This was what it would sound like. Sounds really good. Or I could split it up like the A, C, E, F sharp of the A minor 6 chord. As long as I have those 4 notes, I can kind of put them anywhere on the piano. Here's what I mean. Play the A down here, take that C, and move it up here instead. Keep the other two notes where they are. You see that? Now, with my hand size, there's no way I can play that with just the left hand. So what I'm going to do is do kind of a stride piano version of this by playing the root by itself and then the other three notes together. See that? Same thing with the B minor 6 chord. Join me, let's do it. Sounds good, right? Just by itself. And I'm adding the pedal, I'm changing the pedal. But you see, I didn't need to read note names. I use my knowledge of chords, right? Now, what if I add the right hand to it? Let's hear what that sounds like. That sounds really good. All I did was add the melody to the left hand that I just practiced, right? Again, using my knowledge of chords. Now, in those spaces where I have a long wait, I can fill it somehow with some notes that might sound good. Let's see what I come up with. That sounds pretty good, right? You could do whatever you want. Basically, how do you add the fills or the runs or the, that sort of thing? You understand how chords and scales relate to one another, which again, you can learn in my course, Chord Master. And you choose the notes from that scale. So for example, the A minor 6 scale, technically you could play an A minor pentatonic, but let's call it an A minor scale, okay? So what I did was, I don't remember what I did. Okay, here, even though I'm playing the B minor 6 chord, if you look at it, these two notes are part of the A melodic minor. So I could use any note from the A melodic minor. I'm just playing like notes of the scale. Am I trying to make it sound good? Not necessarily. I'm just exploring the sound, right? So that's a whole other subject. Right now we're talking about how to read a lead sheet and why you'd want to. All right, so that's basically it. You'd go through and look at the other chords, again, with your knowledge of chords, and, put them into the piece of music the way that you like. And how do you know what you like? Through experimentation, through time spent at your instrument playing stuff that doesn't sound good, and then realizing, hey, this doesn't sound good because X, Y, and Z. I think I would like to try this other thing. All right, so that's in pop music or jazz or, blues. That's how you read lead sheets. Can you read a lead sheet in classical music? Yes, you can, if you can find it. And again, I will be making these. So I made one for Ode to Joy by Beethoven. Okay, and I made a very simple one. So let's take a look at it. It's in key of C major, and it starts with a C chord. And you can tell because you see the symbol there. Here I put in an F major chord. Back to the C chord. Now, got a G chord here. Okay, back to C. F, C, G. I could play it like that, no problem. Or I could, after playing it like that and learning the melody and the harmony, I could make it a little fancier. I could take the right hand up an octave. Nobody says you can't. made it a 5/7, a G7, F, you can do it like that. You can even, remember I said you could change the melody notes? Well, in Ode to Joy, people are going to know that you did change it, but that's okay. So let me see what I can change it to. And I don't mean change it like make a whole new song out of it. I mean just kind of, you know how when you hear singers singing a song and they'll, change certain notes of the melody for, expression purposes, that kind of thing. So let's see what I can do here. Did you see what I did? I just kind of made that up. Let me see if I can play it again. That's pretty. I can also add harmonies in the right hand. Do you see that? So it leaves me so much freedom to do as little or as much as I like, right? So if I were playing this, do you see that? I added a very simple fill, right? Okay, so point being that reading from sheet music is great. It's time consuming, and sometimes it's not necessary because you want to play your own version of a song. That's where lead sheets come in. All right. So, do you have any questions? Let me know. Now, if you're interested in learning really cool arpeggio patterns, you'll want to take a look at these two videos on the screen where I go through some really beautiful chord progressions played as arpeggios. All right, keep practicing, have fun, and I'll see you soon. Bye.